what's up? Today we're gonna talk about the 10 important things you're gonna need to start your business. 10 most important things. The first one is the LLC. The second one is the business plan. Third one is your marketing. Fourth one is, if you're gonna drive your truck, you're gonna need your CDL. So CDL. The fifth one is getting the truck. The sixth one is getting insurance for the truck. The seventh one is registration, so registering your truck. The eighth one is getting certifications. We're gonna talk about those as well. The next one is getting your DOT number. And then the 10th one, what I think is the most important one out of all of them, because if you don't have this, you can't do none of this stuff, is the mentality, man. You gotta have the right mentality to survive in this business. Not gonna lie, it can be tough at times. And if you're not focused, if you have that quitter's mentality, I guess, you're not gonna survive. All right, so in the LLC, the first thing you need to do is to think of a unique name. What I did was I kept the name away from my personal name. They didn't want to call it Malcolm Trucking or Malcolm Transportation. My family has this old email that we used to have, and it stands for GHM, which is Greg. My dad's name is Greg. My mom's name is Helen, and my brother's name is Malcolm Marcus. We couldn't put two M's, so it's just one M to symbolize both of us. But GHM, that was the name I used, Transportation. That's the unique name I came up with. And once I got that name, I went to ecorps.gov and I plugged it in to see if anybody had taken it. Nobody took it, so I filed it on ecorps.gov. You're gonna pay $100. They're gonna ask you for 3 different options, and you can switch up if you want the LLC all together, if you want the L.L.C, if you want it just spelled out, but they're gonna give you options to do, but those can be your 3 different top, and see if you can pick the best one. You can put the best one at the #1 spot, because that's the one they're gonna give you, and that's how you go and file your LLC. It's gonna cost you $100. It's easy. You don't have to pay nobody to do it. You don't have to ask legal. Well, I ain't gonna take away from legals and money, but you have people who say, I charge you $250 to do it, and you can just go and do it for yourself for $100. Also, once you get the LLC back, that's when you go and file your EIN number. So you're gonna go on irs.gov, I think. Yes, irs.gov, and you're gonna file your EIN number. That's like your social security number for your business. That's for when you file your taxes. That's the number you're gonna give. That's anytime you filing for a credit report for your business, or you're trying to get funding, you're gonna give them your EIN number. Not gonna give you your social security number. So yeah, those are the 2 things that you're gonna have to do dealing with the LLC and the EIN. So the reason why you want the LLC, it protects you from when you have lawsuits, if somebody, bankruptcies, just anybody trying to come for you due to business, it protects your assets. So if I have a home and I'm just running a business, I don't have an LLC, the business is not registered under anything. And say if somebody say, oh yeah, a rock fell off your truck or something that hit my car and it's $100,000. Those people can come for your house, they can come for your assets. So it just protects your personal assets from being taken when anything ever happens. Also, if you have multiple owners for your business, the LLC, it's like a pass-through entity. It helps you during tax time. It's one of the best ones. Now, the one thing that people don't tell you, and this is down the road, you can outgrow an LLC. Once you start making excess amount of money, your tax agent, whoever you use tax, they will have to switch you to an S corp, because the tax advantages are different from an LLC when you start making a certain amount of money. So that's just that's down the road. We'll talk about that later. But LLC is very important, man. I would not start any business without filing a legal entity. That's just one of the first things you have to do. All right, so now going into the next thing, the business plan. The business plan is the second most important thing too. It creates a roadmap for your business. It sets out, what you need to do, what you're looking at, what you're facing. It's like studying for a test. You're gonna kind of set a plan before you go into study. Nobody's just gonna be like, all right, let me just do this. No, you're gonna set a plan. If you was buying a home, you're gonna have a plan before you do something. It's always best to have a plan before you do something. So a business plan is the same thing. You want to know what you're about to get into. So the first thing you're gonna do in a business plan is the executive summary. Executive summary is just pretty much a scope of what you're doing, where you're located, and a lot of this stuff is gonna be pretty much a guesstimation. You're gonna be kind of just like, yeah, I'm gonna be in Atlanta, I'm gonna be here. You may not even be there at the point, but it's still just it's putting a picture of what your business is going to look like. I think that's one of the greatest things, because once you put stuff on paper, that's when it really becomes reality, which I think. We can think about things all the time, but until we kind of put it on paper and kind of see it, our eyes see it, I think our brain and the world kind of manifest it. So the executive summary is the first thing. Also going to talk about the product. The product in dump trucking is you getting a vehicle. You're the product. You're providing a service. That's your product. The customers, you want to know who's your customer base. Who am I going to be delivering and hauling for? You want to know the customers, and that's how you get business. The future of the company, that's how you look down the road 1, 2, 3, 4 years later. You want to know where you want to be. Anybody who starts a business, they always have a plan of where they want to be. So why not put it in the paper? Why not kind of predict where you want to be 5 years down the road? So it's projections. That's what we call them, financial projections. Company description, just describing what it is you do, what's your name, where you guys located, how are you going to get business, and just pretty much telling people what you do. Mission statement. Mission statement is more mentality. It's more of your moral values and what you stand behind and what you're going to do, what you're going to accomplish, and it tells the pretty much the integrity of the business. Legal structure, another important part. I advise you talk to a lawyer while doing this. It may cost you a little money, but talk to a lawyer to know what you're going up against in dump trucking, because it can get a little testy, especially when you have materials. Especially hiring drivers, and drivers may be tired one day and they may not tarp the material, and rocks may fly off, and those rocks hit somebody's car. You start to get emails saying, hey, I was driving on I-85 today and a rock fell off my car and it hit my window. And I ain't gonna lie, the first time I got it, I was a little scared, like, oh man, they finna sue me. But talking to a lawyer, you'll understand that happens all the time. Like, still talking to a lawyer, just about legal entity, about the business. Market research. You want to know what's the landscape of the industry? How many people are in the industry? How much money is in the industry? Is it room to grow? Is it room to scale? If I see a business that says, oh, this is going to be a $1.2 billion industry in the next 5 years, and right now it's at 28 million, I was like, oh, that's a lot of room to scale. So knowing the market research, and just pretty much knowing also what else is out there, who else is out there, how are people getting business, who's the top dog, in the industry. You kind of always want to know that, because it may be something you can aspire to be, or you may can connect with them and take some keys or tricks or anything from them. But that's doing your market research. And those are pretty much the same. Competitive advantages. It's going to be hard to kind of tell what your competitive advantages are when you're just starting. That's the kind of tricky thing about business plans. They ask you questions, you like, I don't know. But it's still good to kind of just put something down, maybe what you're thinking, because you never know what that can transform into. So pricing structure. In dump trucking, we have a pricing structure. Sometimes they already tell us what they're paying us, but especially if you do work for landscaping, people want dirt for their backyards to cover sinkholes. They may ask you, hey, how much you charge for to get 3-4 loads of dirt from this location? You want to have a pricing structure in place. You want to know what it is. Now, starting off, you may not know what that is, but that's why I'm here to give you the information to tell you how to set your pricing structure. So to sum that up, for business plan, 5 most important things you need business plan is your executive summary, the product, your customer base, your market analysis, your financial projections, and your competitors. I know that's 6. I guess I can't count, but 6 things that I'm giving you. Your competitors. You want to know who you're competing with. You want to know what's the industry's like. You want to know what you're doing. You want to tell people what you're doing. And I would just, want to know your pricing structure as well. But those are the main things I would use for as the business plan. It's a lot of the stuff they're gonna ask you to create. But I'm gonna give y'all a little tip. I'm gonna give y'all a little cheat sheet. And don't tell nobody I told you this. You can use this website called ChatGPT. You can put in what you want. You can kind of tell them what this landscape of your business. You can put in the info, and it will write you or create you a business plan. So using AI really helps save a lot of time, because back when I did my business plan, I had to sit there and do it paragraph by paragraph by paragraph by paragraph. But now with AI, so many things you can do with AI, and it helps you, and it's so much faster now. It saves so much time. So I would go on ChatGPT, plug in my business, what I'm doing, where I'm located, what I'm hauling, what state I'm in, what my business or mission statement is, and it will formulate all that stuff for you. All right, so next we're gonna talk about marketing. Marketing is very important. Marketing is pretty much building a brand for your business. The first thing you want to do in marketing is to create a logo. I wouldn't create it myself, only if you're talented, only if you're really good at this stuff. But to source some people, you can actually go on Fiverr, and you can hire somebody on Fiverr to create your logo for a little, like $5 to $10. When thinking of a logo, you need to think of the colors. I like to think of them as like warm but soft colors that kind of stand out, but not nothing too crazy. So you see my logo here. It's been times I put this on my truck, and people have called me or called my brother or called some of my family members and say, hey, I seen GHM Transportation, just because of the logo stands out. So you don't want to just go with anything that's just boring. You want to kind of jazz it up a little bit. But logo is one of the most important things. Next is your website. And the first thing you need with your website is to go and purchase a domain name. You can go on GoDaddy and purchase a domain name. What a domain name is so my business is GHM Transportation. I went and purchased GHMtransportation.com. .com, that's will give you, you will have that as your domain name. Nobody else can steal it, and that's one step to your branding. So go and purchase a domain name, and also get email addresses that are attached to that domain name. It just looks very professional when you send an email that says .com with your business on it, instead of having malcolm@gmail.com. So go and get that domain and get some emails that's attached to that domain name, malcolm@gHMtransportation.com. I wish it was shorter though, I'm not gonna lie. But at least go get that email with that domain name and create your website. You can have somebody again create your website on Fiverr for a little $5 to $10, just depending on what you want. And tell them make it look good, have it around your color scheme of your logo, and that's creating branding. When people see that color, people see your logo, they should know who you are. They should know, oh, I've seen that before, if they're in the industry. But yes, please create your nice website. Also put nice pictures, put professional pictures on there. I made a mistake of putting pictures I took with my iPhone. It didn't look too good. So I went back and I added some professional pictures in the website. It really transformed. It really looks better when you have professional photography pictures on there. So, don't do those shortcuts. It's stuff I'm giving y'all so you won't make the same mistakes I did. Social media. Social media is very big. A lot of people, kind of skip over this with marketing, but make sure you separate your personal page from your business page. You've probably seen people have a business and they have their personal page, and they be selling a product, but they also got their kids on the page, but then they have their family, but then they have the business. You're like, okay, am I coming here ordering? What am I ordering? What am I doing? Like, what business are? Separate your social media pages, your IG, Facebook, if you feel the free, need to use that. I like LinkedIn for my industry, dump trucking industry. LinkedIn is a lot of construction company CEOs and presidents that's on LinkedIn. So, you can really connect with them and send them an infographic, which I was going to talk to you about next. Infographic is something, it's like a snapshot of what you do. So when you are sending emails or when you're sending messages on LinkedIn, you can send them an infographic and they can automatically see what you do in the infographic. And it's like people like pictures. People like to see illustrations. They might not always read the word. You might send a long email, and I'm like, man, what is it that you do? But if that infographic is in there, they can see what you do. But always make it to the color scheme of your business, the logo that you chose. Business cards. Business cards are very important. Now they have business cards where you can get them digitally, where you can scan a QR code, you can tap the back of somebody's phone. I'm gonna be honest, I'm old school. I don't really like the new digital business cards because I tap it to my phone and I talk to the person, I save it in my contacts, but then I forget what their name is, so I can't find it in my phone. So I like tangible business cards because I keep up with them and I can always remember, oh, I met so and so at this event, or I met so and so at this event. It's gonna have your logo and it's gonna be branded. A digital business card, I forget what they do, I had to go back through my phone. What was that guy name I met at? Damn, I don't remember what his name was. So you can do digital business cards. It's the new era, but I still like just go to Staples or anybody who makes business cards and go, put your logo, put your email address where they can contact you, put your phone number, have your, it kind of jazzy. You want them to remember you. That's what the thing about a business card. So whatever you feel is gonna stand out, that's what you should put on your business card. But that's a part of marketing. That's a part of getting your business out there, getting your logo out there. For some of the marketing, make sure you just putting a lot of attention to detail into your marketing. Don't skip over that. I see when people create business, that's the one thing that they skip over. Put attention to detail into your marketing because you're branding your brand. You're building a brand for yourself. So put attention, have to put up some money for it too. So don't skip out on marketing. Marketing is very important. If don't nobody know who you are or what you do you really have a business? All right, so next we're gonna talk about CDL school. So if you're planning on driving your truck, or if you're not planning on driving your truck, I think it's still beneficial to get your CDLs. The reason I say this is because I had a situation one time where I was driving and it was a guy that didn't have his CDLs, but I knew him. He was a guy in tech, and he ran his business by hiring drivers. Well, one day he told his driver he should have got an X amount of loads. Said he should have got 9 loads, but I was on that same job, and that wasn't a 9 load type day. It was more like a 6 or 7 type load day. So just being able to drive and being able to communicate to your drivers what happens or what you expect. You can't do that unless you've been out there. I can't tell a driver, man, you should be doing this, and I've never done it. So, not saying it can't be done, but I think getting your CDL is very important. There's also things about getting your CDL of, just imagine if you have a driver and you don't have your CDLs and you need to go and take the truck for maintenance on a Saturday. Well, who's gonna take the truck to maintenance? It may be 20, 30 minutes away. You gotta get your driver out of his bed on a Saturday, which means you're gonna have to pay that man. You're not gonna just get him out of his bed for free. He has to take the truck to maintenance. You may have to go pick him up, take him back home. Then when it's ready, you pick him up, take him there. But if you had your CDL, you can just take it, boom, and solve the problem. So today we're gonna talk about CDLs, school, and how to get your CDLs. So for a dump truck, all you need is a Class B license. A Class B license is all you need. So you wanna go and get your Class A, that's on you. You can go ahead and get it. That you can drive the dump trailers, which are the longer trailers. But Class B is all you need for dump truck. The school that I recommend that I went to was Cat Law. When I went through that course, it was like $1,500, which was well worth it. I think now they moved to maybe like 18, 19, which still is well worth it. You go to school in the classroom for like a week, and then it's actually like 4 days. You go to the classroom for like a week, 4 days, and then the next week you're in the truck. You learn how to drive a manual, so you can, have manual on your license, and you train for 4 days in the truck, and you take your test on Friday. And you gotta lock in that week because there's a lot of things you're gonna learn in a week's time to get your CDLs. You're gonna pretty much turn into a mechanic. You're gonna learn the parts on the truck because you gotta pass this thing called pre-trip. And pre-trip is checking out all the major things before you get into the truck and drive to make sure the truck is safe and ready for you or whoever is about to get in and do a day's work. So pre-trip is one of the biggest things. You fail pre-trip, you can't even get into the truck and drive. Pre-trip is the first thing they test you on. So you really got to lock in. For me, I was okay. I was a little mechanically inclined, but I just had to learn. I can tell you all the parts now, but Yeah, you really have to learn. You have to learn how the brake test. The brake test is a little, it's rough too. But dealing with air brakes, they want to know that you can really maneuver air brakes because they are different from just regular car brakes. Cat Law is the school I went to. A couple others I know is ATL Driving School. I think that one is in East Point. And you also have Roadmaster. I think Roadmaster has a couple other locations, but if you're looking for one that'll get you in and out, Cat Law, you can get it in 2 weeks, but you gotta lock in. Like you really gotta lock in. So to sum it up, I think CDL is very important when you get into this business. It saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of money. And shoot, just say if you don't have a driver from time to time, you can get in your own truck and drive until you find another driver. But if you don't have your CDLs, that driver leaves and you don't have nobody ready for him to take his place. Now your truck is sitting, not making money. So CDL is very important. All right, so next we'll talk about insurance. I don't even really have to talk about the importance of insurance on the dump truck, but I will. Insurance on the dump truck, we carry like $1 million liability, and that's because we are in a 64,000 pound, I had to say that again, 64,000 pound machine. So, if anything happens, we get into accidents, a lot of times it's not good. So we have to carry a lot of insurance on our dump truck, especially the materials. Say if we waste a certain amount of materials on the street, sometimes those materials may mess up the roads, they may impede accidents, they may drop on people's cars, just anything, and we have to be able to pay for that type of stuff. So just to save you, really, I know $1 million sound like a lot, but insurance policies, they you pay a premium, and you pay monthly, or you can pay every 3 months. It depends on how your plan set up. What I went through insurance was Progressive. Progressive was one of the policies that I got when I first started, and I'm still Progressive. And my first year policy, if I'm not mistaken, it was 11,000. Yeah, it was 11,000 for one truck, and that was like maybe 900 a month. It was something in the range of that, but I went home and paid it off. I went home and paid it for the year. So I think I dropped like 11 just on the insurance. Insurance is very important. You can't do nothing without it. A lot of companies are going to ask for your insurance policy. They want to be a holder on your insurance policy. That's when you're talking to different companies. They're going to say, hey, can you call your insurance, make us a holder of the policy? That's how you get in bed with them. That's how you get, once you sign your house agreement, that's how they know. They're going to keep up with that stuff too, because they know that if something happens out there in the yard, they want to know that you have insurance, because if not, they're going to be liable. So insurance is very important. Registration, of course, is very important in your county, whoever you have insurance with. Now, there are some little tricks to insurance. Little tricks of having an address outside of Atlanta, because in Atlanta, insurance companies feel that if you are inside of Atlanta, inside the perimeter, you're possibly going to be at a high risk of getting into an accident. So they look at that and they say, oh, you're in Atlanta, okay, your insurance policy is going to be a little bit higher. Outside of Atlanta, they think you're just doing work outside of there, so it's not much traffic, there's not much, many cars on the road. But that's just a little trick you can hear from me. But yeah, insurance is very important to some of you. You can't do anything without it. You can't even, when you buy your truck, you can't even move your truck out the lot until you put insurance on it. So it's best to, when you're buying a truck, which we'll talk about in the next video, we'll talk about getting your truck, but it's best to go ahead and find a truck and then start shopping insurance policies, because you want to know what you're going to pay. You want to know what type of insurance you need. And it can be expensive, but it's ways around it that can lower the cost. All right, so next we're going to talk about certifications and getting your DOT number, which I think you can do simultaneously. Since you're doing all the paperwork, you might as well do it simultaneously. So DOT number, if you're gonna run your dump truck just in the state of Georgia, all you need is a DOT number. People are gonna try to tell you, oh, you need authority, you need an MC number. Listen, you don't need that. Don't listen to that. All you need is a DOT number if you're gonna run in the state of Georgia. And get a DOT number. What you would do, and I'll give a more in-depth video about DOT numbers, how to do it, but just to give you a snippet of how to do it, you go on Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. So you're gonna go whatever that acronym is, FMCSA, and you're gonna go and you're gonna fill out all the information. Now, there's gonna be a lot of companies that are gonna say they can do it for you, and I think you can just do it yourself. You can save yourself what they're gonna cost $300 to $500. They're gonna charge you. It's for free. You just fill out information about your company, what you need, what you want, and again, I'll do another video that goes in depth how to do it. But it's very simple. Everything paperwork, I pretty much did myself because I wanted to learn. And one thing I learned was it's not that hard. We just think it's hard. We think it's a lot of paperwork. Whoever does it for you, you're gonna have to provide documents anyway. So you might as well just provide those documents, do it yourself. Another certification you're gonna need, I think is important, is the DBE certification, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. Again, DBE certification. What this DBE certification does, it makes you stand out amongst the dump truck industry. I'm not saying this will get you business, but it will make you stand out. It'll put you in like a different realm of getting business. There's a lot of companies who need DBE participation, and you can call them, hey, do you need any DBE participation? I can provide it for you. I've gotten jobs that way, just from cold calling. They say, yeah, we need X amount of, how many trucks do you have? And that's how I've been able to get work. But DB certification is very important. One of the certifying agents is MARTA. That's who I went through. There's a lot of other ones that you can go through. Got a lot of other programs, a lot of programs that you can go through, but MARTA was what I went through. There's a lot of people that's gonna come out and say, yeah, I can do it for 700, 800, 1,000, but you actually can do it by yourself. If you need help, I'm here to help you. I can walk you through the process. It's a long process, but I have a rule that I'm just gonna turn in what I have, and they're gonna tell me what I need more. So it's gonna feel like a lot. You're gonna look at all the documents you need. Just start one by one, just knocking them off. And what you don't have, they're gonna come back and tell you. And you're gonna say, okay, well, now I only got, out of 30 documents, now I only need 5 more. Out of 5, I only need 1 more. Like, it's just knocking it down. It's gonna feel like a lot. But DOT number and DB certification, I think, are the two most. One more thing to add. The DB certification, once you get it with MARTA, you get other certifications up under that. You get small business, so MBE, minority business. You get SBE, and you get a couple, I can't remember the names of them right now at the top, but you get like 5 certifications in one. That just gets you to be able to market to federal contracts. It may be state contracts. It may be county contracts. It's just, the government space is really a way to, tap in to get work.